Again, a joy and a pleasure to be with all of you. I hope I'm not outdoing my welcome. You know what? These are exciting times. And many of us have known about OnPassive from its early days. I'm coming up to 5 years. And some people now are clocking in just over 5 years. So this is not something that is new. And for 3.5 years, OnPassive's doors were open to accept founders. And the joy of that means that we were the early registrars, the early people to learn about what OnPassive is and what the mission is from Ash, what his goals are, what he was hoping to do for the world and for founders. Since closing the opportunity for founders to join us, it's more than a year now. We're close to a year and a half. And the same mission, the same goals, the same idealism, and the same hopes and prayers from Ash are still to help us and to help the world. So none of that has changed from the moment that I joined, and it has not changed since everybody else has joined. So there's really no reason not to believe in OnPassive. If you've followed the steps, if you've been part of the live webinars, or if you've listened to the recordings, or you've read the notes, you should be able to stand tall and stand proud with what OnPassive is doing in the world, known and unknown to us. And when you start to see the different news feeds and the messages that are coming out from oMedia, what you see is being posted in the OnPassive social media sites, that is truth. What Ash tells us is truth. The partnerships that are happening to benefit the world, but to benefit us, is something that you will either believe or not believe. And that's your choice. You joined OnPassive. Hopefully nobody forced you. It was your choice to join. We paid the $97 to join, to take a spot and take a stake in this opportunity, which is a business, a global business, a huge business. And then just a few months ago, Ash turns around and refunds that money to us. He credits our OMail, our wallets, with $97 worth in 97 OCoin. So it hasn't cost us anything to be part of this amazing company from the moment you joined. The second thing that we were told when we did come into OnPassive was that there would be an activation fee. And again, Ash blows us out of the water with the amount that we've actually ended up paying. Originally, there was an amount that was given, and we ended up paying, many of us, $143 US for 90 days. That's huge. That was a very special founders package that he put together for us. The public, the customers, are paying the standard rate right now. But then, because there were financial hiccups and because there were challenges in setting up, which happens in any business, but with this business, we're having this, quote, problem of magnitude and size and the huge, largest amounts of money coming in and trying to be moved around in a company that is starting straight out of the gate. Some will say a unicorn, some will say just an amazingly huge company, and the numbers have never been seen before. The financial merchants cannot handle the volume of what is happening within OnPassive's money exchange, purchasing OConnect, and then also the requests for the withdrawals. So because of those hiccups, Ash turns around and makes November 24th, mark your calendars, which was also Chris Johnson's birthday, a special day. And he says that for those who purchased prior to that date, he was going to extend and give us a 4th month within that 143 that we paid. And for those who had not yet paid, he was giving an additional $50 bonus, which meant that you now have until the end of the year to purchase 90 days worth for $93 US. No company in the world has ever done something like this. So we've got nobody to compare OnPassive to. Other companies will be looking to OnPassive, to this business model, to this business way of doing things. And I've said this from the day one when I came in. This is going to be taught in business schools around the world. The generosity, the integrity. And by the time they start teaching it, and by the time other companies start integrating this way of doing business, I'm sure it will have been fine-tuned by then, and many will not have to go through the initial steps like we are going through to make this happen and make this available and show other people that it is possible in the world. There was a graphic that was out and circulating on social media about the leader of the pack and being out there, and it was a pack of wolves, and there was one wolf right out front, and that was the one that was making the footmarks and the treads in the snow, with all the other wolves from the pack following in those footsteps. We are that lead wolf. OnPassive is the one making those steps in the snow. And the other companies, those who have heart, those who develop and decide to change their way of business dealings, will be the ones following in our tracks in the future. So I believe, and this is my personal opinion, that we are at the point now where we start to separate the believers and the non-believers within the OnPassive membership itself. And if you don't want to activate, if you don't want to pay the $93, that's your affair now, that's your choice. Just like you had a choice to come in to OnPassive or not. So you're not going to hear many of the people that you have supposedly looked to, turned to, put on pedestals and all the rest of it, say you must activate, you must pay this. You know what your action will create. If you don't purchase, then you will not receive the additional benefits, bonuses that are still to come, still to be identified or not, and traffic, because you will not be considered an active founder in this scenario. And for those of you who do believe and who were not able to because of the financial merchants and their discrepancies in what was going on, you will jump at this because you will appreciate the fact that you still can get the 90 days and you're also getting it for less, and what a bonus and what a special gift this is for all of us. So please, you make up your own mind on all of this. You do what you want to do, but have the courtesy and the decency and the integrity to let the people that you brought into OnPassive know that they have this very same option. Because when you look at numbers, and when you watch and see the number of people who attend a live webinar, whether Ash is on or not, you look at the numbers of the people who are watching the recordings on all these different YouTube channels, and when you check and see the numbers of who are making thumbs up or comments in chat groups and notes and things like that, we are way below the 50% mark of reaching founders who know about what is happening in OnPassive. And that's sad. So please be respectful of the people that you brought in, and whether you brought them in with that other business model type of mentality to get the numbers in, or whether you truly spent time with each one and you developed a relationship and you explained it and you spent time together, have that respect and courtesy for them having followed you into OnPassive, so that they know that they have a choice now in what they can do, and that it's less money for them to join now. And they still get their 90 days included in that bonus gift price. My choice is to join and to be part of OnPassive and to jump in with 2 feet. I have seen and understood what this is almost from the beginning. And I have been so grateful to what I have understood and how OnPassive has helped me advance in my own learning and abilities in something that I was losing my self-confidence, losing my own personal awareness through fear and through the disabilities that I was living with and do live with. I also put every other business that I had looked at, thought about, being part of aside, knowing and understanding that there would be a proper time within OnPassive that I would be able to bring forth those parallel businesses and companies that have got the integrity and the same heart-based missions as what OnPassive has. And many of you came into OnPassive because you had other businesses that you wanted to use the tools of OnPassive to promote and work with. Well, we're nearly at that point right now. That platform is already developed, but Ash is not going to bring that forward until he's able to ensure that the finances, both coming and going into our accounts and to purchase and activate, are fully functional. In addition to that, he has other products, both virtual and physical products, for us to be able to earn commissions on through the sales of either our own efforts and or the efforts of the company. So there has to be a stabilizing of all of this and then an upscaling and a stabilizing. That is what this business is all about. We need to adjust to what is happening in OnPassive. Enough of this flying off the handle with anger, frustration, fear, attitude when you're talking to other founders, when you're talking to group leaders, when you're making posts in different Facebook groups. We need to adjust to what is happening in OnPassive, knowing and believing and understanding that it takes time for these changes and these positive changes to take effect because the company is so large. This is a global company, and we already have many, many, many products in queue to be released. And those in the executive teams who are traveling and who are talking to different governments, to different industries, to different sectors of other countries, they know what these products are. They're already talking into the future of what is already in OnPassive's storefront and ability to purchase and ability to use. And they are listening to what these other countries and governments and divisions are looking for, and they are able to say OnPassive has got the tools that will help you. That is how some of these partnerships are happening. Because of our integrity, because of our good products. And remember that what we are seeing is not the final product. This is not the product that is being shown to the world. We will be the ones adapting and adjusting to the shifts and changes that OnPassive is creating and doing for us. OnPassive will not adjust to us. Our thinking is too small. Our knowledge is too small. And if we cannot understand the largeness, the humongous size of what OnPassive is, that's fine. But don't start putting up roadblocks. Don't start putting in fear. Don't start worrying about what is happening. Let the system work. Let it happen. Step by step, the way it needs to, the way Ash is doing it, and the way even beyond what Ash wants to do, what legal and what compliance, for the global laws, for the laws and rules and regulations of each country that OnPassive has to adhere to in order to make this work for all founders. So please be aware of all of this. Let's work together. Let's not have the founders be the challenges, make the founders the ones causing problems for the company. Let's make sure we're all saying the same thing, which is the truth. I don't believe we have to make anything bigger than what it is. It's already huge. It is massive. We don't have to exaggerate. We don't have to embellish what we know. And if we don't know it, then it's the time now, if you want to take responsibility, to go and read the blogs, to go and read the websites, to check and see what's going on. Be part of OnPassive Nation Facebook group. Learn and see the questions. And please, when you join any of these groups, scroll up and down, see what the other comments are, see what the other questions are. Because quite often you will find so much information and so much help in how your thoughts, your questions, and how other people are thinking. You are not alone, and you will find community in all of this, helpful and supportive to what you are thinking about. So let's work together with all of this. OnPassive is a storefront. We have a one signature, a one login entry into this massive, massive store where we will be having products put on the shelves of OnPassive. And we will be able to sell them. We will be able to buy them. But the company is also going to be selling them on our behalf if we have become a if we have become an affiliate and signed that NDA, and if we have chosen to activate and purchase OConnect. So these are the steps that we can take. But if you choose not to do them, that's fine. But in turn, you cannot expect the company to do business for you if you have not taken those preliminary, simple, basic steps to connect and to put the key in the ignition to legally allow OnPassive to do what it has said all along that it would do for us. Let's stay in the now. Let's stop, take a deep breath, and exhale. And do it again. Because now, even more than before, Ash is going to lead us through information, either directly or through the OnPassive 360s, and he will be giving information about what is happening and what the next steps are and what gates are opening and when. Please read the notes. Please listen to the recordings. If you can attend live, that's wonderful to hear the passion and excitement in Ash's voice, because he is so excited. Yes, he's working incredibly hard, as are the teams, as are the executives. They are exhausted, and nobody wants this to be successful more than they do for us. So let's support them with positive thoughts, positive ideas, and if you cannot do that, that's fine. But then stay quiet. Take a step back and watch and see what happens. Because you have got until the end of December to make that decision to still activate, to still be part of that founder's package for 90 days. And then you don't have to pay again, and you can still watch and see what is going on. You came into OnPassive for a reason, as did I. And in my opinion, to leave OnPassive now is possibly one of the most foolish things I can imagine somebody doing. We haven't even seen what is possible. We've heard. We're starting to see from the back office and what is going on. But let's do what we can to be supportive, to work together, and not be another problem that Ash has to solve, or the legal department has to solve, or compliance has to solve. Because whatever we post out there in social media, other countries, other governments are all watching this. And if we're not saying something positive, because that's how we feel, or because we're using incorrect terminology, or because we're embellishing and making it bigger than what it is, we're causing problems for the company. I don't want to do that, and I really don't think most of you do either.